Hey y'all, it's your girl Missniecytv, and I'm here to do a review for Sistas Season 6, Episode 15. The episode picks up where it left off, and Karen is approaching Zach and Fatima and little Michael in the grocery store. Karen's like, "Who's this? Is this your son?" And Zach says, "Yeah." And was like, "So this is the same little boy that girl came by your house and said that this was your son. So you actually took a DNA test for him? Not that you needed to, because he has your whole face." Zach said, "Yeah. Why do you even care?" And Karen's like, "I care because I want to know where my child fits into it." "Karen, you would know where your child fits into it if you would stop falsifying documents and just tell the truth that you honestly don't know who the baby daddy is. You know in your heart that it's Aaron, but you don't want it to be Aaron's because you want to be stuck to Zach for the rest of your life." And as they're turning to leave, Zach is like, "Let's go, baby." And Karen's like, "Baby?" Zach is like, "Yeah, she's my baby, my love, and my everything, and my life. I told you that plenty of times. I don't know how many more times I could tell you that because I'm tired." Fatima says, "I don't know how many more times he could tell you that." Karen's like, "You know what my problem is? You." And Fatima says, "I know, I'm a problem for a lot of insecure women." Karen's like, "Really?" And as they're turning to leave, they leave, and Karen's like, "Excuse me." Karen proceeds to follow Zach, Fatima, and little Michael down the aisle. She's like, "I don't know what's up with him and his other baby mama, but as for us, we have to be cordial and we have to have a good co-parenting relationship, and I just want to make sure that my child will be loved and taken care of for." Fatima's like, "Of course it will be. We told you this already." Fatima's like, "I wouldn't harm your child or any other child that's in my care." Zach is tired of hearing it, so he takes little Michael, because little Michael is starting to wake up, so he takes him to the car. Fatima's like, "Make sure you strap him in." And Karen's like, "Strap him in? Y'all don't have a car seat?" Fatima's like, "Karen, you will be a loving and caring mother. You wouldn't let nobody beat the crap out of your child. Leave him home alone and let him sit there in his own ways. When we went over there to check on him today, that's how we found him. We can take him back and let him get subject to all those things again until we get a car seat, or we could take him home, give him a bath, give him the love, care, and attention that he clearly never had." Fatima ate Karen up so bad that she didn't have nothing else to say. She was standing there looking stupid. Over at Maurice and Calvin's, Calvin comes in and Maurice is waiting for him watching TV. Calvin says the new TV came, and Maurice is like, "Yeah, it shouldn't have though. There's nothing to watch." And Calvin's like, "Well, I'm gonna get some water and go to bed." Maurice is like, "Stay up with me." Calvin's like, "Why?" And Maurice is like, "I don't know how much longer I'm gonna have until I go away." Calvin's like, "You're not going anywhere." Maurice is like, "Yes, I am. Since Q won't do the right thing, I will." Calvin tells Maurice that he's not going anywhere. And Maurice is like, "Yes, I am." Maurice tells Calvin that Sabrina thinks that it has something to do with the way that he was raised by his father. Calvin tells Maurice that childhood trauma can stick with you for the rest of your life. And Maurice is like, "What have you been through?" And Calvin's like, "I've been through a lot. I just don't want to talk about it." Calvin tells Maurice that Maurice is a good man. Maurice is like, "I'm a lady." Calvin's like, "The situation that happened with Q shouldn't change who you are because Q didn't deserve you." That moment really touched Maurice in a special way because he tells Calvin that he loves him. And Calvin's like, "I love you too." Calvin has truly been a great friend to Maurice. Over at Zach and Fatima's, we see Zach and Fatima and little Michael make it back from the grocery store. And Zach goes to run little Michael a bath upstairs. And Fatima sits down on the couch with little Michael, and she takes off his jacket. She notices bruises all up and down his back, so she calls Zach downstairs, and they sit down and talk to Michael. And they're like, "You hurting here? Are you hurting there? And does it hurt when I touch you here?" And Michael's shaking his head no. Fatima can't take it anymore, so she goes upstairs to check on his back. So it's just little Michael and Zach downstairs. And Zach is talking to little Michael. And he's like, "You don't ever have to worry about anybody hurting you ever again because you're with Daddy now." Over at Danny's house, we see Danny coming in, sneaking in. I'm like, "Girl, you wouldn't have to sneak in if you wasn't being sneaky, doing something you ain't had no business doing." Kristen wakes up because she wasn't being quiet enough. "Where you been?" "I was with Andy because she had a blind date and I just wanted to make sure she was safe. Me and Sabrina went together. They actually hit it off." Preston's like, "Where did you get the flower from?" Danny's like, I got it from a lady that was selling them on the street after Andy and her date went on a walk, so we walked with them. Then they started talking about how Preston was so high off the weed that he was wearing Danny's work uniform. Danny's like, no one can fill it out like I can. Preston's like, at least we were the only ones that seen it. And Danny didn't tell Preston that Zach was there too. And Preston was like, I couldn't feel my face. Like, I couldn't really physically feel my face. And Danny's like, well, you shouldn't have been smoking weed. Preston's like, it was only one hit. Danny's like, yeah, it was only one hit. And one hit shouldn't get you like that. Preston's like, I don't know how you do it. Danny's like, I'm a strong woman, that's how. Danny goes into her bathroom getting ready for bed, and she gets a text from somebody, and she's smiling down at her phone. And I can only believe that it's Tony, because nobody else would have her smiling like that. Preston scares her, because she's in a daze when he walks in the bathroom. She's like, Preston, you too white for that. You look like a ghost. Preston's like, well, I just came to pee. Danny said, can you pee and go? And Danny said that because she wasn't trying to get caught using her phone. But the way that Danny's moving, she's definitely gonna get caught sooner than later. Back at Zach and Fatima's house, as Fatima's cooking, she hears a knock on the door. She's like, who could this be? She's expecting it to be Heather, but it's actually Karen. And Karen has a box of stuff and a car seat for Michael. Karen's like, I'm sorry for the things that I said. I didn't know, and I wouldn't wish them on any child. Fatima's like, yeah, I know. She's like, Zach has also been through some things like that. Fatima's like, yeah, I know. Do you want to come in? And Karen's like, no, but maybe someday. Karen leaves, and I'm like, oh, wow, I'm proud of you, Karen. But I don't know how long this is going to last, because you can flip at a drop of a dime. One day you'll be nice, and the next day you'll cause all hell. Like, make that make sense. Then we see Zach come down the stairs, and he's like, who was that? Fatima's like, it was Karen, surprisingly. And she bought some stuff for Michael. Zach is like, wow, that's nice of her. Then Fatima's like, imagine what Heather will say when she realizes that we have. Over at Andy's house, it's early in the morning, and Karen goes over there to talk to Andy. Karen's like, why are you looking at me like that? And Andy's like, well, I don't know which Karen I'm gonna get today. Karen's like, it has been difficult for me, but I apologize. I actually came over here to ask you something, so they go sit down. Karen tells Andy that she told Aaron that she don't want to be with him no more. She just want to be single. And Andy's like, how do you take it? And Karen's like, not well, but I can't help him with that. Andy's like, well, you got me and the rest of the girls. She's like, I just want to be happy, and I just want to take care of me and my baby. As far as me and Zach go, we are over. I realize that ship is sailed, and I just want to be happy. Andy's like, what made you realize this? Karen's like, well, I went over there to drop off some stuff for him and the baby. I found out that he was being abused and neglected, so I went over. I wound up talking to Fatima, and we had a nice conversation. Andy's like, y'all talk normal and like civilized women, right? And Karen's like, yeah, we did. And I also tore up the check from Zach, and I was wondering if you could lend me the money. And Andy's like, of course. But as far as this whole, I want to be happy, and me and Zach are over, and I'm not going to cause problems for them no more. Karen, yes you are, because you'll be nice today and be a B tomorrow. I'm not buying this song and dance, Karen. We've heard it too many times before. What Sunshine Anderson say? We've heard it all before. Andy tells Karen how great of a date she had, and how the guys are just like them, and Andy also tells Karen that Jordan's friends got along with Sabrina and Danny, and Karen's like, you going to see him again? Andy's like, I'm not going to wait around for the call. Andy doesn't tell Karen that she's supposed to see Jordan again that night. And I'm like, girl, why would you withhold that information? You tell her anything else. Back over at Zach and Fatima's coming downstairs, and she takes a picture of Zach and Michael sleeping on the couch. You can tell that moment really warms her heart. Zach wakes up off the couch, and he's like, don't wake him up. So Zach and Fatima have a conversation, And he's like, thank you so much for this. Fatima's like, you don't have to thank me for anything. Zach is like, yes, I do, because you're being so cool with him staying here and taking him in and caring for him. And Fatima's like, you don't have to thank me for that. They make plans for Michael to go see the doctor because Zach wants to know why Michael's not talking. And Fatima's like, the doctor will tell you. Fatima's like, do you know of any doctors? Zach is like, no, I haven't been to the doctors in years. And Fatima's like, we need to change that. Fatima's like, I wonder how Heather will act when she finds out that we have him. Zach is like, she hasn't called me. Fatima's like, how can she be that type of mother? Over at Maurice and Calvin's, Sabrina goes over there to tell Maurice about what happened with Bio. She's like, I just wanted to let you know that you're right. Calvin's like, so he is homophobic? Sabrina's like, he didn't say it, but you know how racists be like, they don't indirectly say that they're racist, but they are. And Sabrina's like, you talking about getting the bail revoked. And Maurice is like, well, girl, you gotta do what you gotta do. You better screw that man and get that money. Sabrina's like, I'm not doing it. Over at the law firm, we see Andy and Fatima, and they're talking about their day. And Fatima's like, I guess the date went well. Andy's like, how you know? Fatima's like, because of these. And then she hands Andy the flowers, and she reads the card, and Andy's really happy. Andy proceeds to tell Fatima about the date and how Jordan ended the date with them on the bus. And Fatima's like, the bus? Andy's like, yeah. Fatima's like, the bus sounds like he's a scrub. Actually, when I met Zach, he was on a bike, so... But I'm not a no handlebars type of girl. Andy's like, yeah, you're right. Andy's like, enough about me, though. Are we gonna talk about Zach's son? Fatima's like, you must talk to Karen. And Andy's like, yeah, I did. And she said that he's being abused. Fatima's like, I actually have to go talk to a lawyer later. And I was wondering if I could get some time off. Andy's like, did you get all your work done? Fatima's like, yeah, I wouldn't have asked you if I didn't. Speaking of Karen, though, you sure Karen isn't bipolar? Andy's like, yeah, I know, my friend. Fatima's like, well, pregnant women don't act like that, and she's acting really weird. Andy's like, then we see Fatima calling Zach to see where Zach is, because the lawyer is about to come. And Zach is like, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Fatima's like, how's Michael doing? Zach is like, he's good, but he's not eating though. And as Zach's talking, he notices that little Michael is stuffing food in his pocket. And he tells Fatima, and Fatima's like, that's not good. So they hang up. Zach tells Fatima that he's on his way. Zach hangs up the phone and he's trying to convince Michael to get his food. And then Zach tells Michael, I'll just let you sit here and decide if you want to get the food or not. But what we won't do is be stuffing food in our pocket. And I'm like, oh, Zach is such a good dad. Over at Danny's house, we see Danny trying to sneak out the house before Preston wakes up. And Preston's like, where are you going? Danny's like, I'm just trying to beat the traffic for. Preston's like, by 2 hours? Really, Danny? Danny's just trying to get out the house so she could talk to Tony. Preston realizes that Danny's acting weird, so he has to have a conversation with her. And he's like, why are you leaving 2 hours early? And Danny's like, I just want to beat the traffic. Preston's like, well, I just want to have a conversation with you. And I just want to let you know that I don't want you to wake up one day and decide that you don't want to be with me anymore. Danny's like, what do you mean? Preston's like, I know you better than you think. You commit and then you start acting weird. Danny's like, that's the same thing you did to me with Mindy, so what are you saying? Preston's like, well, I know what I mean, and I don't want you to feel like you don't want me no more, because you start acting weird. As Zach and Fatima's, as Zach is leaving to go see the lawyer, Heather pulls up with the police talking about some arrest him. He stole my baby. He didn't steal his own son. Let me know what you guys think about the episode. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your bell notifications. Bye.